Guys, hello, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Geneva. This is Geneva in General. And guys, the WNBA Draft 2025 viewership ratings are in. Again, it was a huge celebration. A lot of viewers and eyes, attention, and interest that was generated in this 2025 WNBA Draft. Okay, it's just second to, of course, last year's 2024 WNBA Draft. The likes of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and so on and so forth. Okay, Camilo Cardoso. Guys, this is an article brought to you by SBNation.com titled, "The WNBA Draft is officially bigger than two major men's sports leagues." Cameras surrounded Paige Bueckers as she made her way into the WNBA Draft on Monday. Bueckers, the inevitable number one pick in the draft, was already one of women's basketball's biggest names, and fittingly, ESPN projected her Instagram following into the in-arena Jumbotron, which showcased she would immediately be one of the most followed athletes in the WNBA. About a dozen other women's college basketball stars also meandered into the Shed in Hudson Yards, the sleek Manhattan building where the draft was held. For the second year in a row, fans could purchase tickets and attend. This year, general admission tickets were going for twice the price, up from $49 to $99. Amongst the stars were Haley Van Lith, who were accompanied by TCU coach Mark Campbell, her parents, and her boyfriend, Orlando Magic guard Jalen Suggs. Kentucky guard Georgia Amoore, styled by NBA star Russell Westbrook, sat front and center with her family. Then there was Kiki Era-Finn, who arrived with her family, all of whom donned traditional Nigerian attire. That's another thing, guys. Kiki Era-Finn, her family, they all look gorgeous. I just love seeing, people, be representing their culture. I like to see people represent their culture, their heritage. They displayed it so proudly. Same thing with Tahina Pau, that, traditional Samoan garbs, all the flowers. They're just so pretty and cute. Okay, Kiki Era-Finn, my Nigerian sister. Okay, you guys, if you don't know this, I'm about 35% Nigerian. I took a DNA test. Okay, so me and her, that's my Nigerian twin. The 2-hour program averaged 1.25 million viewers, the league announced, the second most of any draft in WNBA history. No, it didn't compare to the 2024 WNBA Draft, which Caitlin Clark headlined last spring. That draft saw nearly twice the viewership, averaging 2.4 million viewers, in large part due to Clark's unprecedented popularity, as well as the myriad of other big names in the class like Angel Reese and Cameron Brink. It says, but 2025 should not be compared to 2024. For one, the 2024 draft came off the heels of a record-breaking championship game between LSU and Iowa, which is true, okay? Everybody, when Angel Reese did this, that changed the whole momentum of not just her life and Caitlin Clark's life and the lives of the women around them, but women's basketball as a whole will never be the same, okay? It would never be the same. And two, because Clark had already demonstrated she single-handedly uplifts viewership numbers in a way few others have been able to. 6 WNBA networks set ratings records last season, and all 6 featured games headlined by Clark. Of the top 15 most viewed games last WNBA season, Clark appeared in 14. So the WNBA Draft saw more viewers than the NHL and MLB. That stands for National Hockey League in the Major League Baseball, okay? Instead of being compared to the 2025 WNBA Draft, viewership numbers relating to the 2025 WNBA Draft, instead of being compared to the 2024 WNBA Draft, viewership numbers relating to the 2025 WNBA Draft should be compared to other sports. The 2024 NHL Draft, for example, which again, I'm not a hockey fan at all. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I know in my city, Columbus, Ohio, we have the Blue Jackets. I believe that's our actual professional hockey team. Okay, it didn't even cross my mind that there's a hockey draft, like a hockey draft. Again, I'm not a fan of baseball either. To me, it's kind of boring. I'd rather play it. Again, like a baseball draft. Like every year, I only hear about basketball, the NFL, NBA drafts, and of course the WNBA draft. That's it. I don't know nothing about no hockey, no baseball, no tennis. I don't know, okay? But it says the 2024 NHL Draft, okay, for example, averaged 502,000 viewers. More than twice as many people tuned in to watch Bueckers and the rest of the prospects enter the Macklin to let Celebrini and his class join the NHL. The MLB's draft first round averaged 863,000 viewers. Okay, so that's baseball. Baseball, America's pastime, has been trumped by women's basketball when it comes to draft night. Before 2024, the WNBA draft never exceeded 601,000 viewers. Oh, wow. That number came when Diana Taurasi finished a storied UConn career in 2004. These recent numbers are a massive jump from recent years. Per The Athletic, in 2020, the WNBA draft drew just 387,000 viewers. In 2021, it drew 331,000 viewers, so it actually went less. And in 2022, it drew over 400,000 viewers. On Monday, the WNBA Draft was the most viewed program across all of television amongst males 18 through 49 and all adults 18 through 34. It also surpassed 2 other major pro sports. Now, again, I know I like to kind of harp on and kind of drag a lot, not all, I'll say not a lot, some of the male fans of women's basketball in the WNBA. But the fact that, again, that it peaked this past Monday, this past WNBA Draft that was viewed this Monday with Paige Beckers going #1 overall. It says the most viewed program across all televisions amongst males 18 to 49. The majority of people who watched the WNBA Draft was men. We gotta call a spade a spade. You gotta call a thing a thing. As women, like, we do need to, actually support each other better. Again, we always talking about the sisterhood and feminism. We got to come together in the patriarchy. Okay, but why, again, like, as women, again, we're not as interested in sports as men. But a lot of women are casual, baseball fans, casual, men's football, NFL, and, NBA fans. It's like, why don't we give that same interest and money, okay, and just support to our fellow women? Again, you ain't gotta like every freaking, watch every basketball game of the WNBA, be a diehard fan. But it's like, what's wrong with having a girls' night saying like, hey girl, I'm in your city. You in Indianapolis? Let's go see a Fever game. You in Chicago? Let's catch a Sky game. You in Dallas? Let's catch a Wings game. That could be our new girls' night theme for women. Again, we gotta support each other because again, men are supporting these female athletes. Okay, we can say like, men this and that and the third. They are actually supporting these women. Again, this past Monday's draft night, the majority of the viewerships were males. It also surpassed 2 other major pro sports. Even as recent as 5 years ago, few could have imagined that more people would tune into a women's basketball draft than the Major League Baseball or National Hockey League's draft. But women's basketball has come a long way. And the next crop of stars, USC's Juju Watkins, I can't wait until she get back. Okay, Notre Dame's Hannah Hidalgo, UCLA's Lauren Betts indicates that this growth could be sustained for years to come. And yes, I agree. Like, this is not something that's like going to just go away. Again, women's basketball these past 2 years have gotten me back, interested. Okay, I'm on fire. Okay, as you can see, I literally started my YouTube channel, just to talk about music. But again, I went to that Chicago Sky game, saw it in person back last June. And I had watched, the Iowa versus, LSU and all the drama. I was like, you know what? Let me reinvest myself, my attention, my time, my energy, my coins, okay, back into women's basketball because this is where it's at. Again, guys, women's basketball is in good hands. Okay, we on the come up. Okay, we still kind of somewhat in our infancy stage, I guess that you could say, when it comes to revenue and the money side, the business side, the financial, side, the income statements, the accounting principles, et cetera, et cetera. But we're on our way. Okay, we're on a good trajectory. Okay, it's like a rocket ship. We are on our way to launch forward. And I'm so excited, guys. Today's April 18th. We got less than 1 month, just about 3 weeks. They said in about 2 weeks, we'll get to see Paige Beckers play for the Dallas Wings. Okay, she's gonna make her official WNBA debut. I cannot wait.